How many here have snow skied before? Okay, quite a few of you. At least those that haven't, have you seen it on TV? At least you know what it is. I'm from South Carolina, but I lived in the north before, so I know what it is. But when I was young, just a young buck, maybe 14, 15 years old, a bunch of friends of mine said, let's go snow skiing. Well, I didn't even like the cold, even though I lived up north, so the idea wasn't appealing to me at all. But they, peer pressure, sometimes we do things that we ordinarily wouldn't do. And so, sure enough, we all go to the mountain, and I strap on these things called skis, and I'm falling down just even trying to get over to the lift, and my buddies are all great skiers. And so they're like, don't worry about it, just watch us, it's all going to be good. So I'm having a hard time. I barely get onto the ski lift, almost fall off the thing. And I get up there and I realize I don't even like heights. So I'm really enjoying this thing so far. And so we're getting up towards the top, and I'm sort of, but I don't want my buddies to know that I'm scared or anything. So we get up to the top, and we're just coming off the lift, and I'm watching how people are getting off, and I'm thinking, uh-oh. And so we go to get off, and sure enough, I crash and burn right in the middle there, and they got to stop the lift, and it takes me a while to get my hat and my boots and my skis and poles and everything. I finally sort of scoot off to the side. And so then I look down the mountain, and I'm like, oh, my God. They didn't take me to some little bunny slope. I mean, we're at the top of the mountain. Never had skis on in my life. So, and I didn't know the Lord then either, so I was really in trouble. So they say, all right, well, I'm going to go down here and just watch me. So they go down, and I don't even know what you call the terms, but they're going back and forth real slow. Well, not really that slow. And then they come down to a point where, I don't know what they call it, but they do the swoosh thing. And, you're supposed to like lean up into the hill, and the snow goes flying, and it looks really cool. So I'm thinking, well, that doesn't look too bad. So I start to go, and they said you're supposed to edge with your skis and all that. Well, I'm not figuring any of that out, so I'm basically going about 100 miles an hour down the slope. And so I say, well, I'll just do the swoosh thing, and I'll be okay. So I go swoosh. Well, the trouble is I'm going 100, and my body momentum throws me about 10 feet in the air down the slope, and I land on my shoulder, and you hear this big thud. And so this happened throughout going down the mountain. We're getting towards the bottom of the mountain. I'm totally exhausted and not enjoying this one bit. And I said, but I can see the bottom there. And at the bottom they have one of these snow fences. Have you ever seen them? They got the slats with the wire through. And it's there to, I assume, protect the cars from people like me. But and the lift is off to the side, and this is a crowded day. I mean, there's just people lined up all over the place over around the lift. And so I say, well, I'm just gunning it down. It'll be one last swoosh and, one last thing on my shoulder, and I'll be good. So I come bombing down the mountain. Thank God nobody's in my way. So I do about maybe 10, 15 feet from the fence, I swoosh. Well, I'm going so fast, I went through the air, and I hit that fence like no tomorrow. And so you hear this whack, and everybody looks, and I just lean against the fence like nothing happened, right? And every part of my body is just going, oh! But on the outside, I'm smiling, and I'm Mr. Casual, just leaning on the fence, looking around like, what happened, like it wasn't me. Well, there's a point to that story. We as Christians, many times, we're walking around with a smile on our face, and we're in great pain on the inside, and we're pretending like nobody noticed. But most of the people knew how much pain I was in. They were aware of it. And so tonight, the Lord is giving you a chance in the next few days to go ahead and get in touch with that pain, to get real, to dump it. Because if we're healed and we're free, we can have joy. And that joy is going to strengthen you. And the people that have been watching around you, and they know you're in pain anyway, and most of us are bleeding all over everybody else, but we don't know it. We're going to get rid of that. And your relationships are going to change. Your marriages are going to change. Your families are going to change. Your workplace is going to change. And you're going to start looking around and you're going to go, hey, all these people finally straightened up. But it's us, inside of us, is what changes. And so we welcome you. We thank you for being bold enough to open up and to get real. This is a safe place. I know your pastors. This is a safe place. It's a time to come.